What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Yankees Avenue Show on the Yankees Avenue YouTube channel. As usual, I'm Patrick Hennessy. That's Dan Rourke. Dan, how we doing on this beautiful Friday?
Friday, dude, man, it really is your flu game today, ain't it? Can you ever get the days right? Christ's sakes, this is the Tuesday episode, but it's all good. For those who don't know, Pat is kind of going through it. This is his first flu game. I've had a few myself already, but honestly, this is borderline a flu game for me because I quit my vape today. I no longer am a vapor. I'm on Nicorette. So, a little bit of physical withdrawals going on, but I'm chilling, going to be in a better place once this is all over with. Doing good, man. How was your Thanksgiving?
Fantastic. Yeah, Thanksgiving, solid holiday. Let's hop right into topic number one here. So listen, Dan, this December will mark the 5-year anniversary of me and you being friends. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, actually.
I mean, it kind of does. It was the 2018 season, so yeah.
Yeah. But regardless, it's the 5-year anniversary of Giancarlo Stanton's trade to the New York Yankees. Let's time travel a little bit. Would we make that deal again if we could, go back to 2018? Well, 2017 is when the deal happened. Would we make that deal again?
Yeah. So first of all, dude, it is insane that it's been 5 years already. Like we were seniors in high school when that deal went down, December 2017. Production wise, he's been pretty good. I mean, overall, I think he has like an 840 OPS in 5 seasons. The injuries, if you were to tell me you're going to get Giancarlo Stanton, who'll only play 130 plus games twice in the next 5 seasons, I probably, just from that information alone, I probably said, like, you know what? Nah, I'm probably good. But what do we always say? What determines your Yankee career is how you perform in October. And we all know the story with Stan. He's been probably the clutchest hitter on the Yankees of this core. And even this past year, dude, in 2022, his overall numbers weren't all that great, but he had some big moments. I mean, especially when you compare to like the rest of the lineup. So, I mean, knowing that, outside of the fact that we haven't won a World Series, like with his October resume, I would say so far it's been a success. I would do it again. I think so.
Yeah. No, I agree 1,000%. If you look at what Stanton's done for the Yankees, it's not like it's quality over quantity. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. I feel like the moments that he has provided have been a lot bigger than if he would have provided more like home runs in June against the Twins. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say the Royals, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, same thing. But it's like even this past postseason, right? It's like you look at his numbers and like they don't really jump out as Stan having like a great postseason in 2022. But it's like if you really like dig deep into it, he came up with the big hits when it really mattered. Like the Yankees probably don't even make the ALCS if it wasn't for Stanton. Like that huge 3-run home run in Game 5 of the ALDS. Like, bro, we're talking about a guy who's kind of he single-handedly carried them to the wild card game in 2021. Like Giancarlo Stanton has been the definition of what the Yankees needed. In terms of just like a clutch, massive presence in the lineup. And regardless of what people think to being like, oh, he was kind of like a copy and paste of Judge, I think that he provides a beautiful support system behind Judge, where if Judge doesn't necessarily come through, it's like you always know that Stanton's just a couple hitters away, you know?
Yeah. And I have another point to make, but you bring up Judge. Dude, the marketability alone of Stanton and Judge together, like it still gives me chills to this day. But also, we always talk about, accountability in the Yankees clubhouse, the organization as a whole. There's one guy who is accountable. It's Giancarlo Stanton. He's the one guy I feel like over the past few years, maybe Luke Voigt as well, that just hasn't ever had like a BS response in a post game. That's another thing as well. I mean, talk about how well he's handled New York. I don't think anybody could have handled it better. I would do that deal again, man. It hasn't been perfect. I think that's kind of my point here. It hasn't been perfect, but overall, knowing how he's performed in October and just the way he's handled being a superstar coming over to New York, we know how bad that can be. What are you laughing at?
No, because I have something to say, and I know it's going to like tick you off a little bit. But as of right now, we're talking November 28th, 2022. Aaron Judge is not under contract with the New York Yankees. So Correct. As of today, Giancarlo Stanton has a better chance of being in Monument Park than Aaron Judge. Just saying.
If he doesn't come back
for the long haul.
If Judge doesn't come back, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying as of today.
Stanton, I'm not so sure he is on the. If he won a ring and went on like an A-Rod 09 postseason,
go, bro.
No, it's very plausible he could win one. Yeah. I'm not saying not, but if he does win a ring, that could get him in. So from that aspect, I'm agreeing with you. But Judge is coming back, so let's save that. We can do it another episode. All right.
Oh, you love to see it. Listen, free agency. Xander Bogaerts is projected to sign for less than $200 million. Do we think that he could be the answer at shortstop that basically no one's talking about?
Dude, I have this pipe dream of Trey Turner. I wouldn't mind Carlos Correa either. But realistically speaking, unless Dan works a GM, you sign Aaron Judge to a $350 million deal. Chances are we're not adding another $250, $300 million contract on top of that. When I saw, and Fangraphs projects this, baseball or MLB Trade Rumors projects this, they have his contract, right around like $180 million, which is just absolutely insane. I'm like kind of getting like that. That's my guy now is Xander Bogaerts, Pat. Do you realize how good he is, man? Like, I know we know because we've faced him many times. We've seen him play. He's nuts. But like, if we just read off the stats here, bro, let me pull him up. He had a 6-WAR season in 2022, has never had a WRC plus below 129 since 2017, which was 6 years ago at this point. He's coming off an 833 OPS, 15 homers, has 33 homer power before. Dude, he's really, really good. If you can get him for 180 mil, man, to play shortstop, the defense isn't great, but you could always move him over to second base. Sign me up, bro. No?
Yeah. No, Bogarts is really good. I'm gonna be honest with you. I could see him maybe taking like a Correa type deal, just like in hopes of maybe like re-entering free agency next season and getting a bigger deal in a shortstop class that isn't as loaded. You know what I mean? Because I mean, like you said, this year you have Turner, you have Correa, so maybe Bogarts is gonna get slighted a little bit just because of that. But yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at all if the Yankees handed Xander Bogaerts 180 mil, but I would much rather take that money and hand it to like a Carlos Correa. Or even like a Trey Turner. Like, that's not knocking Bogarts, but it's just like I would prefer a Carlos Correa over a Xander Bogaerts. But
yes.
Would I be mad about either one? No.
It's really just the defense because offensively, man, I mean, he's up there with Turner. He's up there with Correa. I don't know where he would be in the lineup, but that's what would change this offseason into kind of being an A+ because, you know, I have such a big fear, we all do, of the Yankees. All right, you sign Judge, you might bring back Benintendi. That's the offseason. Let's run it back. That's a C+ to me, even if you bring back Judge. If you bring in a guy like Bogaerts, and this kind of goes for any of the shortstops, that's what changes the offseason into, all right, we're doing something different. Let's ride Russell Wilson. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? No. Like that would totally change the landscape of the offseason for me. And it's not a deal where you have to pay $300 million. If you're getting for less than 200 mil, I'm sorry, that's a steal, bro.
No, I know. And I know exactly what you mean, but also at the same time, like I'm viewing the offseason as a failure. Even if the Yankees do not bring on like anyone new of impact, like a Turner, Correa, Bogaerts, and all they do is re-sign guys that were already on the team last season, I'm considering the offseason a failure. So it's in order for the offseason to be a success, you have to take that next step. And re-signing Judge isn't taking that next step. Re-signing Benintendi isn't taking that next step. You have to go out and get one of these guys in order to take that next step up.
What if they sign Judge, they sign Benintendi, and then they bring in Jose Quintana as the 5th starter, bro? Would that give you an A+ in the offseason? What would you say?
I could totally see that happening, though.
No, me too.
That
would almost be like, just feel like that would be like a spit in the face of the fans. It would always make it worse if they didn't do that. But like if they brought in Jose Quintana, bro, like, is that what we're actually doing? Why
do you say it like that?
I don't have a problem with Jose Quintana. No, it's just
no. Stop. No. But you.
Oh, the name is it what? Quintana?
No, but you're saying Quintana. I think it's Quintana.
Okay, I apologize.
No, but say it again. Say it again.
The way I say it.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Quintana? Jose Quintana?
No. You were saying Quintana.
Okay, my bad. Sorry. Point is here, it's either Carlos Rodon or bust.
I like Rodon. I love
him so bad. Okay, let's like not get off topic here, dude. Like, you know, you're supposed to be the host.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, no. Okay. Yeah.
But you're a great fucking host, Pat, by the way. I was talking to somebody actually about that this weekend. I was like, Pat's good at what he does. I couldn't do this without him. That's a conversation I actually had.
And you're good at what you do too. You're good at what you do too, Dan.
Moving on here. Bro? All right, yeah, let's move on. I thought you were making fun of my stutter, but yeah, let's go.
No. But listen, apparently surgery is still on the table for DJ LeMahieu's toe. It would sideline him for 10 to 12 weeks if he does opt to get it. Where do we currently stand on DJ? Because to be honest with you, I don't know. It feels like such a fall from grace compared to a couple of years ago. I mean, especially when the Yankees first brought him back, which was after the 2020 season, when they re-signed him to that deal, right? It felt like DJ was one of the best hitters in baseball. And now when I look at DJ LeMahieu, I kind of just see average. You know what I mean? I see a guy who's an average hitter, maybe slightly above average, and maybe that's just a little bit of a recency bias.
Yes, but that's exactly what it is, Pat. You're the king of that shit.
I'm no longer viewing DJ LeMahieu, at least as of right now, as an elite baseball player.
I think that's fair. I mean, elite to me is like you're talking MVP. Yes, he's no longer 2019,
he was elite
2020 DJ.
2019,
2020. Yes, no, he's not the same player. I'm with you on that front. I don't consider him an average bat. I think if there's one slight and concern you can have about DJ going into next year, It is the injury bug, which is pretty crazy. I mean, that was never a problem with him, I think, in his career before 2021. And yeah, dude, we're going on 2 straight years now where he wasn't available in the postseason. Remember that 2021 wildcard game? I'm pretty sure he was out in that too. So from the injury standpoint, I get it, especially with this toe stuff, man, which just doesn't really make much sense. I mean, they're considering surgery, which is a 10 to 12 week timetable. If you're considering it, why not just get it now? Like, what are we going to do? Like, wait for a decision, and then it's not till February when you decide, and then, all right, you're missing opening day, you're out for the month of April. Like, what's the sense in that? I don't know. But as for a production standpoint, dude, let's not forget how good he was in the first half of 2022. He was an 800 OPS guy, was playing phenomenal defense, which you can still pretty much always expect that. Yeah, had like an 800 OPS. I think he was on pace for a WAR over 5, which is well above all-star level. So, I mean, as for being paid $15 million a year, if he stays on the field for like a full season, I think he's well worth that. That's just kind of what it's a matter of. Like, will he stay on the field?
Well, I'm okay. Well, I'm looking at his numbers from 21 and 22. Dude, these are average numbers. Like, we're looking at 2021, a 711 OPS. Shout out to the Slurpees out there. And then 2022, 734 OPS for the entirety of the season. I know you're saying, I know first half he had like a 786, but still, bro, I'm looking at numbers in 2019 where his 2020 numbers are insane.
I know.
And I know very small sample size, but his 2020 numbers are insane. That's an MVP type season. And 2019, he was insane as well. Like, I don't know where that switch happened, where he just all of a sudden, like, went back to the hitter that he was in Colorado, you know?
Well, here's the thing. I think it remains a conversation about injury because 2021, he had that hernia, which was a pretty shitty deal. I blame it pretty much on that. 2022, I won't go through the whole spiel again, but it wasn't until he had that toe injury to where he turned into a crappy hitter. Like if DJ finishes
he wasn't
the year,
even great before it, bro.
No, Pat, he was pretty damn good. I mean, at the All-Star break, he had right around an 800 OPS, which I think we're comparing him to 2019 to 2020 DJ, which is fair to do because that's what got him that money. But still, at the same time, $15 million a year for a 5-WAR player that plays solid defense at multiple positions and is when healthy, at least a well above average hitter. He may not be an MVP anymore, but I think he's worth the money.
Let me wrap up this conversation by asking this question. Do we think that we will ever see 2019 DJ LeMahieu again?
No. I'll tell you this too about DJ. While I think I'm a little more optimistic about him, I'm over him at the leadoff spot. I don't think the Yankees should go about their business assuming that he's going to be batting first. And I liked it a lot last year. I think it was opening day actually when he was batting 5th. And under my offseason blueprint, I think that's where I had him. Let's just say Bogaerts, since we're talking about him today. Bogaerts lead off, Judge 2, Rizzo 3, Stanton 4. Dude, I'm all about just put DJ in the 5 hole. I think that makes a lot more sense than the leadoff spot, especially because he is the slowest motherfucker. I'm sorry, DJ. I love you, but I don't think you'd have a guy that's slow at a leadoff spot. So while I love him, I would change up the way they use him. Let's just hope he stays healthy, though, for next year. And I think he'll produce.
Oh, sounds great, Dan. Thanks for that input. Moving on to topic number 4 here.
People may think like I like you and that we're friends, but I actually fucking despise you, bro. And I take back the very nice message I put in the beginning of the email today where I said, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Happy Christmas season. I take it back. You don't deserve it.
No, and I hope people do realize that we don't like each other outside of the show.
No.
Like we do this because we're contractually obligated. We're coworkers. I don't like you. We don't talk outside of this. So let's just keep.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay.
Cool. We are coworkers. What's next, coworker?
Moving on to topic number 4. The Astros have signed Jose Abreu to a 3-year, $60 million deal. Dan, their lineup was already insane. This just makes their lineup even more insane. I know, a lot of people are being like, well, Anthony Rizzo's better anyway. Doesn't matter because they still improved in their own team because Jose Abreu's better than Yuli Gurriel. So now we're looking at an Astros 1 through 6, which is Altuve, Pena, Alvarez, Bregman, Tucker, and then Jose Abreu in the 6th hole, a guy who's coming off an MVP season a couple years ago and is still one of the best first basemen in the league. I think
Gazy MVP season, but yes.
Okay. But you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now I guess we have to ask the question, right? Is it possible for the Yankees to even get on that same level as the Astros lineup? Because you look at the Yankees lineup and it's like, it's not horrible on paper. I mean, considering they bring back Benintendi and Judge, right? It's not horrible, but it's like, it doesn't give you that same sort of like star power / like intimidation factor that like the Astros 1 through 6 does, you know?
Yeah, dude. And as for the lineup if it's just Benintendi and Judge, let me make it clear, that's still one of the better offenses in the American League. It is 100%. It'll be nowhere near the Astros though. And that's what this question's about. And the way I see it with the Astros is I don't think we'll be as good as them this year. Like on paper, I don't think we'll be as good as them. I don't think any team in baseball will be as good as them. but we have to close the gap enough to where you can logically apply it's a crapshoot in the playoffs, because that is true. That's one area where I do kind of align with the Yankees partially, is the playoffs is a crapshoot. We saw the Phillies, which was arguably the worst team in the NL, to get all the way to the World Series. The problem is, though, you can't say that when the gap was as far as it was between the Yankees and the Astros this past year in October. You know what I mean? Like, if we make it so where it's a competitive series, anything can happen. Like, if the teams are on paper in the same conversation, then you just got to, hope that we'll come out on top. But I don't really know if there's any move, bro, that's going to make us the favorite over the Astros per se. Maybe if they don't bring back Verlander and then we sign Rodon plus get another big splash of a position player, maybe that'll do it. But I think no matter what, dude, and this might be a surprise for some people because I usually don't talk this way, like, we're going into 2023 as for sure, like, significant underdog to the Astros.
I agree.
Like, there's nothing that can really be done, unfortunately. So let's just close the show and never talk Yankees again, because we're never going to win. No, I'm just kidding.
Should we just make this like the Astros Avenue show? Ooh, Astros Avenue. I like that. It's a little,
you know what's funny? When I first started Yankees Ave on Instagram, I had like people DM me for like 2 years straight after, like asking me permission to use the name Avenue. They'd be like, this one kid Broncos Avenue, who's pretty big now. He's like, yo, bro, do you mind if I steal your name? Because it's such a good name. Isn't it?
So
Yankees
popular.
Avenue?
Yeah,
I know, dude.
It's
I know.
Great. Once again, coworkers.
Wait a second. Do we even pick out a question 5?
No, you were supposed to.
Okay, let's rapid fire it. All right. So I have the questions up right now. Are you ready? This is gonna be the Pat Q&A section. Okay. Here we go. From Brendan Q, one of our longtime listeners. He's the GOAT.
Brendan.
Assuming the Yankees don't add a big bat outside of re-signing Judge and a left fielder, what do you think our chances are against Houston in the playoffs? Sorry, Brendan, we kind of just answered that question, but we love you, dude. From Joshua BA5102, Nimmo, Benintendi, Oswaldo, or Masataka Yoshida, the Japanese stud, for left field. Who do you want out of those 4?
It's a lot of names thrown out there. I'm gonna go Benny. I'll go Benintendi. Was Oswaldo one of those?
Yeah, which
I want him nowhere near the starting lineup in 2022. But yeah,
I think Oswaldo, dude,
he's like my least favorite one.
They got to go with, he doesn't start opening day, but rest days he'll get 3 to 4 starts a day or a week, and come injury he'll be the next guy up. But yeah, no, I'm good off him in left field. I would go Nimmo if we're talking financials aside, but I'm very for bringing Andrew Benintendi back. How about this one? Which Yankee brings his nephew to Hooters for Christmas? That's from Dylan Connery, 7561. Which Yankee brings his nephew to Hooters for Christmas? I already know who it is.
Josh Donaldson.
Josh Donaldson, done.
Yeah.
All right, somebody besides Josh Donaldson, who would it be? We don't really have many guys that are like Donaldson. Like, he's kind of just in his own area.
No.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
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 You want to do one more?
Yeah.
Okay, from Mr. Worley 0358. How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of House Steinbrenner? Next question. That's a legitimate question, by the way. So
no, that might be one of the maybe like 25.
All right, here we go. Let's find another one. I'm feeling a really bad contract situation coming. Do you? From @PickFit. No, I don't feel that way, because the only guy the Yankees are going to sign is Aaron Judge. I wish they would sign a bad contract. I can get hyped over it. Were you hyped over Ellsbury when we signed him?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Dude, look, give me some false hope, bro. Let's sign Bogaerts to a $300 million contract, bro. I'll be stoked. Or let's sign
Nimmo to a
let's sign Verlander to a 5-year deal, bro. Fuck it,
Yo, okay. This is the last thing that we'll say, just because you mentioned Ellsbury. Did you see he's on the Hall of Fame ballot?
Yeah, it doesn't really take much, though. I mean, I think Kevin Youkilis was even on the Hall of Fame ballot a couple years ago.
Don't care, Dan. Be quiet. No, that's mean.
You better watch your mouth, pal. I'll come over to wherever you're at. I don't want to give your location away, but I'll rip that unhinged sign and I'll burn it out in the streets.
Yo, by the way, before we go, do you like my haircut? It's pretty. I do. It's a lot shorter than
it looks good.
It usually is.
It looks good, and it'll come in really nice. I like that. It looks good with the hat too. Also, speaking of Ellsbury, maybe Kevin Youkilis as well. Probably not him, but coming up this week's video, my individual video without Pat. I know you all look forward to those. Worst Yankee contract.
Why am I even here?
Why am I here, bro? You've been mean to me all day. Worst Yankee moves of all time is coming out this week, and I'm looking forward to it.
I like that. I'm gonna watch that. I like that.
But yeah, I think that was a kind of a wacky episode. I mean, but it was a good one.
Solid flu game.
Yeah, we're chilling. Good job by you. Appreciate you powering through. And yeah, I'll get through my nicotine withdrawals because I'm a baller and I'm always bettering myself. Appreciate all you guys for always watching the show and supporting. We have some dope ass listeners. We really do.
We do.
For real. Like, you guys are awesome. Especially, there's a lot of you that are such diehards, and it's pretty sick. That'll do it for this episode. See you guys next time. Let's go, Yankees.